Hi and welcome to Student Record Management System developed in Python. The main focus of this tutorial is all about printing. If I click on print, and this is what you guys will see, and there is printing, but I don't have my server connected to it, so I'm not actually printing out hard copy. So let me show you guys how the other part of this program works. Okay, now let's click on reset there and enter the new student details. Let's say the student is Felix and the surname of Felix is, let's say, Felix Closely. Address number 5 Tree Road, postcode 7, and student loan, telephone number there, and proof of ID, let's assume he's got a passport, and degree, let's say he's going for his doctorate degree, and is paying by visa, accommodation required, is an international student, and is a registration reference number, ULN number, and next of kin, let's say the next of kin is Grace Closely there. So all we just need to do is to click on receipt, and that will be published onto the database here there, although there's no database attached to this. So like I said earlier on, the main focus is on how to print, because I've already created something very similar on YouTube. So let me show you guys the printing device again. There, you can see printing now, no server connected. So what I'm going to do now is to take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Welcome back to Python. The first thing I'd like to do is to import as follows, and the next thing will be for me to create my class. Okay, let's call the class student. There, that's my class. But one thing I'd like to point out, for you guys to be able to print, you must import the following: temporary file and the operating system as well. So this one is for the Tkinter library, and this is to do with component or widgets such as combo box and checkbox. That's for random number generator. I'm going to be using this for date and time, and this is for my message box. So let's continue. So the next thing is to define the following. So let's say define the initial, and that is going to be self comma root there, enter a column there. Next thing is I'm going to say self dot root, is that there, and change this to a dot. Self dot root equals root. That is the name of my app. Then the next thing is going to be self dot title equals, or let's just say title equals student. Student record systems, and followed by self dot geometry with the geometry. I will define the size of my screen, that's 1350 by 750 plus 0 plus 0, and that is supposed to be my coordinate. Okay, I'm going to define the following variables. So the first one is, I'm going to call it idate. Idate equals string variable, enter parentheses. Then let's say idate dot set time dot string time, and that is going to be house. That's percent divide percent again. That would be for the minute, and that would be for, okay, let's say year. That's supposed to be the date, month and year. So let's close that. Right. Okay, I'm going to define another variable that I'm going to be using. Let's say variable 1 equals string variable, and let's just speed that up. Right there, guys, those are all the variables that I intend to use for this program. They are all declared now. So before I continue, I might as well just round it all up here. Just come right down here. Let's save, and there. Let me move it down so that you guys can see it there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, let's save it first. Let's go to file, save as. I'm just going to call it system. Alright, just say YouTube there. Yeah, that's fine. Save. Okay, so we can just run it and you guys see what's has been put together so far. So let's run it. You won't see anything apart from a gray background. There we go. Alright, close that. Now let's start adding some widgets on board. Okay, what I would like to do first is, let me create my main frame. This frame will house all of the frames and the other widget that I intend to use for this very program. So this main frame is going to be housed inside self.root. It's a comma root there, and I'm just going to say mainframe.grid. That's it. There. Dot grid. That's it. Okay, that's my very first frame. The next frame I will create, I'm going to call the very first next frame, I'm going to call it, let's say top. It's going to be on top anyway. So that's where I will have my title. Okay, let's just say frame tops or tops, whatever. Tops and tops right here. And as for tops, let's get it packed. So the side is going to be equals to top, right? And it's going to be right inside mainframe. Is that inside mainframe? Okay. Next thing is, let's create a border for it. Let's say the border is around 10 and I would like it raised, so let's say leave equals rigid there, and that's it. So one thing that I can take care of now is going to be the label. Let's say self.lbl. I'm going to just call that title. LBL title equals label, and this label is right inside tops, frame tops. I'm going to make the width of that very label equals 30, comma, and the font that I intend to use, let's say equals area. Okay, that's fine. Area is alright. Area, that's the font, and the size of this font, I'm going to make that approximately 39. Okay, let's say 39, and bold as well. Close that. The text that I want in it is going to be text equals student record system. Okay, close that. That has to be, should be a speech mark there as well, comma. And let's get it justified. I'm going to say equals center. Yeah, and that's all there is to that. Let's close that. Now let's say set.title is going to be .grade. Okay, .grade. Yeah, that's it. And let's enter. Okay, padded. I'm going to make that about 150. Yeah. Okay, this is how it looks. Let's try this out now and see. We'll come up here. Let's run it. Yeah, there we go. All right, looking good. So let's come down here and just declare 2 more frames. There we go. Those are the 2 more frames that are declared, and they are all resident right inside the main frame as well. Look at it. Now let's run that and see how it's going to look like. This is how it looks right now. Okay, this is how it's looking. Alright, let's close that. And now the next thing I want to do is to start work with the widgets. So let's first of all, let me come down here and just add a broken line. Just say widget there. Right, there we go. Alright, my very first widget is going to be another label. This label will be known as student ID. Let me copy this one and just paste it right underneath here and change things around. So it's going to be LBL student ID. And let's change this to student ID as well. As for the student ID, is going to be inside a row. Let's say the row is going to be 0 and the column is going to be 0 as well. Wrong spelling. Equals 0, comma, let's say strictly equals west. Right, and we just need to change this to about 16. The text on it is going to be student ID. Let's add, let's say border, no, equals 7. And I think that would do for this very one. And it's going to be right inside member name. Yeah, copy this. It's going to be right here. Paste. Alright, let me just run this and see how it's going to look like. Alright, this should have an equal sign there. Run it again. There we go. Alright, that's good. So let's add a text box to it. I'm going to copy this and just paste text box. Let's try to move this up a little bit and change this to txt and another txt here. Okay, this txt, that's going to be enter. That's the name of the widget, and this very widget is right here, and the size of this widget. Okay, first thing, let's get rid of this. That's not required there. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this here. I just need this, and it's going to be about 13, and this will be, I'll call that variable, text variable, and that will be student ID. I've already declared that variable up there, student ID, and 7, that's fine. Okay, let me say comma, and let's say insert width. I'm going to make that about 2. What about the states, comma, state equals disabled, right? And the student ID is going to be on row 0, column 1. Let's get rid of this strictly west. So let's try this out and see how it's going to look like. There we go. Okay, if I did not say state equals disabled, you will see it in this form. Let's run it again. You see that. That's it. Okay, but I don't want you to be able to type directly on it, so I'm going to undo that there. So what I will now do is just to speed up the whole development of this widget, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay guys, this is how it looks like now. So you can see the very first one, the row is 0, followed by 1, 2, 3, and 4. But there's one more thing I would like to take care of, but let's run it first and you guys see how it looks like there. And if you guys notice, look at this customer name. Okay, that is right here on my label frame. Instead of customer name, I'm going to change it to student name. Okay, if you don't want to create it as label frame, you can always leave it as a frame, but let me run it and you see what I'm talking about there. Okay, supposing we don't want it to be, we don't want a label, we can always change that to just an ordinary frame, and hopefully if I run it there shouldn't be any error because I've taken that off. Let's see. Oh, there's an error. Okay, so that means if I take all of these off now, just delete that there, and if I run it, it will be just an ordinary frame. There we go, you see that. So I'm going to undo what I've just done now. Let's go to edit and just undo that, and one more there. So it's now with a label. Okay, so if you guys want to have a go at that as well. Alright, now the next thing is, let's add a checkbox here underneath here. So I'm going to say self dot chk student loan. That's going to be the name of that very checkbox, student loan equals widget checkbox, and widget checkbox is going to be inside member name F as well there. The text content on widget text box is going to be student name, so copy that and just paste it right there with a comma here and change that to student loan. has the text content on it. Now that is done, what about the variable? Variable equals, I'm going to call that variable 4. If you guys can still recall all the variables that were declared here, that is it, 1 to 4, 1 to 6 actually. Now I'm using the 4th one. Now let's say the value is going to be equals 1, and that's the on value. The off value equals 0. Now let's go for the font. Now I'm going to make the font about 16. Copy that and paste it right there. Font is taken care of. The next thing is, let's just close that for now. Dot. No, that will be here. Dot. And let's run that up. Grade is going to be row equals 5, and column is, in this case, is going to be equals 0, comma, and strictly equals west. Close it. I also need some text content. I'm going to copy all of this and just paste it here and change it around. Let's move this in a little bit and change this to student loan. Student loan. Right. Okay, let's just carry out a few changes and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, this is how it looks now. So let's run it so that you guys see what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay, so I will now speed that up. This is the very first one. Let's enter something just to divide it, because I want 3 of those on board. So there's going to be another one here. Undo that. There. So let's copy all of this for the second part. Okay, then I'll just change it around. Copied, and let's paste it here and just change it around, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay, like I said earlier on, guys, I had to speed this up. This is the very first part that you guys saw. Now this is the second part, starting from here, but there's a difference now. Here I had to add a combo box. I've added 3 of those, and this is the first of the 3 combo box. So you guys have a good look at it. The very first combo box, the variable is called variable 1. This is the second combo box. So take a good look at it. You can always pause the video to copy the codes. So take it down so that you guys can see it. And this is the second one, the second combo box. Now right here is the third combo box. Let's move that up so that you can see it. Take it down some more. Right, that's the second part, on the second row, and the final row is right here, or the final column. It's not a row, column. Take it down. That one is very simple, but it's all about using labels and entering objects. So if I run it now, this is how it's going to look like. There. I'm going to exit and let's come right down here. Now the next lot of widgets that I'm going to take care of now is going to be a text widget. So let's say self again. Just copy that, paste that here. Self dot, let's just say receipt equals text, and this text is right inside receipt. I have a frame called receipt. If you guys can still recall, right up there, receipt underscore button is called. Let me show it to you guys. Take it up so that you see that. There we go. Receipt underscore button frame. That is the receipt. So that's the frame that I'm going to be using for the receipt, and it's also using a label frame, and in there it's called details. Okay, so let's take it down and continue. So that is my receipt frame there, and it's going to be let's say the width is going to be about 180, and the height is going to be, let's say, 10 equals 10, comma, font. I'm going to make that about maybe 10 as well. Copy, paste, changes to 10, and okay. Set that receipt to get rid of this. There should be a T. It's a self dot receipt dot grade. It's going to be on row 1 and column 0 equals 0, and no, I can just say row 0, sorry, row 0, column 0. Let's get it to span, column span. I'll make that about 4 equals 4, because the buttons will be right underneath. Yeah. So let's run it and see how that's going to look like. There we go. This is how it looks now. But one thing I like to do is, you see right at the top there, I would like to add title. So let's add a title first. Receipt.insert. So let's come in. So receipt dot insert, and what I want you to insert is going to be, first of all, we say end, comma, and the first one is going to be student space ID. Let's say tab, 2 tabs, followed by first name, and let's enter 2 tabs as well. Surname, 2 tabs. Yeah. Address. Now I'm going to add 2 tabs again. Postcode. Tab. Student loan. Student loan. Tab. Let's use that to add a space and continue with the rest here. So this one is going to be tab, that would be telephone. Right. Now tab, date. Tab again. Then let's go for degree. Tab, ULN number. Tab, and finally next. of king, tab, new line, close that there. Right, if I run it now, let's see how this is going to look like. Go to run. There we go. There, look at that, guys. Those are my titles. Alright, that's fine, looking good. And finally, for the widget, the next thing I would like to do now, maybe draw a line here first, and I'll create my buttons. And here I'm just going to enter buttons. Okay, first button, there's going to be about 4 of them in total. The first one is going to be self dot btn receipt. Okay, that's fine. Btn receipt equals widget button, and this widget button is going to be inside receipt button frame right there. Okay, I'm going to put a border here. Let's say bg equals maybe about 7, and let's enter, let's copy this, let's enter fonts there, then width equals maybe 13. What about the text on it? Let's say text equals receipt. Text equals receipt. Right. Let's close this and say dot grade, and that's going to be on row 1. Yeah, it's going to be row 1. Copy and paste that. Change this to 1, and the column is going to be 0. Let's get it padded. That's just to give a space. Padding, let's make that about 12. Right, I'm going to save it now, and let's try it out. There we go, that's my buttons there. Okay, what I'll then do is just copy these very buttons. I need 4 of those, and just change the column. 2, 3, 4. Right, now the columns will be 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, and I'll just change the names around. And there we go, guys. There, all my buttons are ready. In fact, the design of the interface is all ready now. So we just need to start changing names around. This is going to be known as exit. So this will be btn exit. This will be print. btn print. And finally btn reset. And reset right here. There. So let's run it now. There we go, guys. But none of these buttons are doing anything. Okay, now let's try to get them to do something. So I'm going to exit out. Let's come right up here and write some functions right here. So I'm just going to call their functions. Copy this. Yeah, so I'm going to change this to functions. Okay, just using it to separate so that there won't be any confusion. Alright, that's for the functions. The first function that I'm going to take care of will be that of exit. So let's say function definition exit there. Then it's going to be I exit equals, take enter, dot, that's going to be message box, double click on that, dot, ask yes, no, yeah, yes or no. And in here I'm just going to enter the title. That's going to be student record system. Close that comma, and the message for the end user is going to be confirm if you want to exit. There, that's my message for my end user. Maybe add a question mark there. There we go. Now use an if statement. If I exit greater than 0, okay, then we want you to destroy. I exit had to be greater than 0. Okay, so any number is greater than 0. So let's say destroy dot root dot destroy, enter parentheses, and let's just ask it to return. There we go. Now you see this function here. I'm going to call that function. I've already copied it. Come right down here and look for button exits. Look at button exits right there, and in there I'm going to enter a comma right here, and let's say command equals I exit. So that is taken care of. If I run the program now, click confirm if you want to exit. No. Confirm if you want to exit. Yes. So exit is taken care of. Now the next thing I'd like to do is let me take care of print. That is the order of the day. Print. It's easy to take care of, so let's take care of that. But before you can take care of the print, you must make sure you import temporary file and the operating system. So right underneath here, I'm going to declare another method or function. I'll call that iPrint. There we go. And in the case of the iPrint, I will declare a local variable and just say q equals self dot txt reset dot get 1.0 comma end dash 1c. There. Now I'm going to ask it, let's say file name equals temporary file, temp file dot mkt. Okay, you see, make temporary file. Be careful because there's another one, make temporary make d temporary. So but the one I want is make temporary file, mk temp. Alright, so the temp file that I want to use is going to be a text file. You can always use Word document file, the choice is yours. So let's say open, and what I want you to open is going to be the file name, comma, write dot write, and what you want to write is in Q, Now the operating system dot start file, and the file is going to be the file name, comma, command print. There we go. Those are the lines of code for my print, this very one. Okay, all we need to do now is to test this out, but before we can test it out, we must call the function print inside the button print here. So let's come in here. I'm going to copy this here and just there. Right, that is it. I've called command print, and let's come right in here, try it out. Save first. I'm just going to click on print. There we go, guys. Look at it now printing, but as you know, there's nothing there, no server, no printing server. Okay, that is fine. Now let's take care of reset. We are almost there. So where is the reset? Okay, I'm going to take care of that right underneath here, and I'm going to call that I reset as well. I reset. Okay, for my reset, let me start by resetting the name dot set there, followed by surname dot set. What about the address? Dot set there, and so on. There, those are my lines of code for reset. There they are, up to here. Okay, those are the variables that I've reset, and here I now reset the entering widget to disable. Y, the combo box, and now as the value is now 0. Okay, there's one more thing I would like to do. Okay, in here, and that would be to write a function that will reset. Okay, and I would like this function reset as well. Copy that and paste that right underneath here. There. This function is actually for random number generator that I will use for the student ID. So if I copy this now, you see the student, and the variable is going to be student. Actually, I think I have it there already. There we go. Okay, but nothing, you guys won't see anything yet. Let's run it, and you see nothing will happen now. But okay, let's assign this onto my reset button here, comma reset. Let's add a command to it there. Okay, let's get rid of this there. Now we try this out. Let's come in here, run the program, and see. There we go. You see, this address and postcode are similar. That's why you see them appear there. I've used the same variable for them. Okay, let's just see what's going to happen now. We need some function to make this work. Reset. There we go. That's fine. All right. Okay, so I think you see the reset. I don't seem to like what happened, because the reset just, it didn't ask me to check if I'm sure if I want to reset or not. Look at what's going on. Just like this, if I click on this, it says confirm if you want to exit. But if I click on this, there, all gone. Well, I'm going to change it and let it take this format. Like I said, I don't like the format the reset took, so I'm going to exit out, and let's come right down here. You see the reset, I would like it to just behave just like the exit. This is the exit. I want to copy this. Let's come right down here where I have the reset, and I'll paste that here and just change the name around. So this is going to be known as reset. Get rid of I reset. Now I will declare a variable in here. This variable will be called, okay, let's just call it J just reset. Okay, and just reset my local variable. Come right in here. I'm just changing everything around. So that's the name. All I just want this one to ask is confirm if you want to reset. Because the end user might mistakenly click on the reset, that's why I feel this is necessary. So J reset will question you to confirm if you want to reset, and if your answer is yes, then I reset will be called upon, and I reset is right here. This is I reset. You don't just reset, so confirm it first, else there might be an error. Okay, now let's use else. Let's use else if J reset, and I'm going to call that is less than or equals to 0, enter a column there. Then I want to reset. I reset. So I want that to be, let's say, self.txt reset dot delete, and that's going to be port 1.0 comma end there. Instead of calling I reset, and I'm okay, let's just, yeah, instead of calling this, I'm going to now change the command that I call to reset this very one. So let's come down here and change this to reset. Okay, one other thing is, because if I run this now, I will definitely just clear everything, which I don't want. Let's see what's going to happen. Nope, you see that? I don't want that to happen. Okay, let's try it again. And here, let's say reset, yes. Alright, but I don't want this to happen though. So I'm going to just add this there. Okay, that is my title. I still want my title in there. So if I enter whatever in here now, and let's just see, reset, no. Okay, that's good. So that is fine. Reset, yes. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. So that's taken care of now. Now the next thing we want to do is, okay, the next thing will be, if I click on this very button here, I want to be able to add values from here onto this text box. So what I will do is, let's come right down here, and right underneath here, let me declare the following. Okay, I can just paste that anywhere anyway, so maybe underneath here, function receipt, enter a column, and let's say first thing first, I'm going to call this, I need this, so let's say reference underscore number of, I want that, and enter as follows. Okay, so anything that we have inside all of these variables, I want it added, so I'm going to call this. Let's go straight down to command receipt right there. So command equals receipt. We don't need this though, get rid of that. Yeah, okay, let's try that out. So since the command is in place, let's come right here, run it and see. Right, into that, into this. Okay, we cannot do anything with this 3 because I need 3 other functions to take care of that. So there we go, guys, look at that. That is fine, I like that. Okay, reset, yes, no. Oh, right, that's good. Alright, I think I have it the other way around. Reset, yes. So yes should get rid of it, but that's fine anyway. Okay, the next thing we want to do now is functions to take care of this. So when I click on this, I want student loan display, accommodation fee, international student fee. Now exit and come right underneath here, and the first function that I will declare, that will be for the student loan. So let's say student loan underscore loan, yeah, that's correct, and let's say column. Now let me start by declaring a global variable, and I'll call this global variable pay 1. So using an if statement, let's come right down here and say if variable 4 dot get, because variable 4 is the variable that I use for student loan, that is variable 4 there. And if we come right down here to this widget here, you will notice that right here I'm using variable 4 on this checkbox. Okay, so that's why I'm calling variable 4. If variable 4 equals, it's going to be equals because I am comparing. Then make sure you enter a colon there, and let's say self dot student loan dot configure, and let's say the state of this equals normal. There. Another local variable, I'll call that item 1 equals float the following. I just made that up. Now that is supposed to be the student loan. Now let's say student loan, there's a variable called student loan up here somewhere, right here, student loan. Okay, just to let you know there's a variable there, and I've also copied it. Student loan dot set, and it's going to be in pound sterling plus str item 1, because item 1 is where I have my student loan. Now let's say pay 1, that's on the wrong place. So it's going to be pay 1 equals student loan dot get, and student loan dot set the pound sterling, this very one. Copy all of those, dump it right there. There we go. Else if this is equals 0, everything here, paste it right there. If it's equals 0 and I want the student loan disabled, and copy all of this, txt disabled. And the other thing is student loan, the variable student loan, we have to set the value to 0. So let's copy this, paste, and just set everything to 0. There we go. That's it. Now you see this very student loan, I'm now going to call that. So let me copy that, scroll right down. I want where I have the checkbox student loan right there. So right here I'm going to say comma command equals student loan, and that's all there is to it. If I run that now, let's run it and see what's going to happen. Okay, student loan, there we go. You see now I can now click on that. Why I cannot click on these two yet? So close that, move right up. What I'm just going to do now is copy this, copy, and the next one, I'm going to call the next one, let's call this accommodation. There. In the case of accommodation, we just need to change. I do have a variable called accommodation, I believe. Let's come here. Let's come right up here. Yeah, there we go. Accommodation. So I'm going to copy that. Everywhere I have student loan will be changed to accommodation. Okay, this becomes accommodation, and so on. Right there. Now I'm assuming the accommodation is about £6,000, £6,500 a year for a student. All that I now need to do is to call this accommodation. Let's come right down here and look for where I have my accommodation. This is the student loan, and right here is accommodation. So let's come right down here, comma command equals accommodation. There. So that is called as well. Let's try it out. Run that. Okay, we have an error. What might that be? Indentation. Come on, what is the problem? Indent. Let's try it again. There we go. Accommodation, that's fine. Student loan, that's fine. Now we're waiting for international. Let's come in here, grab the accommodation lines of code and just change it around for international. Make sure I'm getting indentation right. And let's come right down here. Copy the variable for international. Copy that. International student fees to come right down here. and anything accommodation, change that to international student fee right there. And we need to change this to international as well. Let's get rid of that. And we need to change this as well. I think it's called international. I'm gonna check that out. Come on, that was the name. Okay, it's just international. Right. Now the same thing applies to this one. Okay, all the amendment made. So what is left for me to do now is I'm going to copy this international so that I can call it within the checkbox. So let's scroll right down. I think I have it somewhere here. International. So right there I'm going to enter comma and paste the international there. Now let's copy command somewhere. Have command somewhere. Yeah, I can copy this. Just feeling lazy and just paste that there. Right. That is that done. I'm now going to run it. There we go. International, that's fine. International student fee, that's a little bit too much. You guys need to do something about that. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now let's enter data on the other component there. Okay, let's say the name is Yemen and the surname of Yemen is Hussein, something like that. An address of Yemen is Yankee Road. Yemen living in Yankee Road. Okay, telephone number of Yemen, student ID, proof of ID, oh no, degree, first degree, and method of payment, MasterCard. Okay, what about students ref, NL number, next of kin, let's say Ali Hussein. That's the next of kin. Get rid of this. Yeah, that's it. So click on receipt. There we go. Look at that. That is beautiful, guys. Look at that. So guys, with that I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and you all have a nice day now. I'll see you guys on my next tutorial. And for your information, if you want this very nice of code, make sure you are a member of the channel, and I can always make the code available to you. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.